quite frankly, I didn't even want to come here tonight. But now I'm very interested all of a sudden. Because I too am being instructed in that. In other words, the teaching is arising for all involved. Not that I'm receiving the teaching, but I'm the stage on which Shiva comes out and dances and gives the teaching. Or Shakti, if you prefer the feminine. Now I'm engaged, I'm interested, I'm glad I came. But talk to me a half an hour ago, it's like, what a mistake, I should have just stayed home and watched television tonight. Make some hot tea, watch the Discovery Channel or Animal Planet or something. But now it's very interesting, I'm interested. That interest is both the curiosity to find out and the manifestation of that finding out. The dialogue that arises within the process of finding that being. In other words, there's a kind of dialogue that happens within the arising of being. A different kind of dialogue than most human beings have with each other, among each other. So here being begins to flash in recognition. Your mind should start to change in the midst of this sort of monologue or dialogue. You see how being creates the teaching? It has nothing to do with individuality, except insofar as I am here to tell you about that. Then it is perforce individualized as well. Perforce means necessarily. It is also necessarily individualized to the degree that I come here to talk about it. But what happens here, whether I talk or whether I do not talk, is the manifestation of a state of consciousness. And deeper than that, state of consciousness doesn't really apply that accurately either. A state of consciousness is again something that can occur and then disappear. This is somehow the revelation of what is at the core of existence. So if it's at the core of existence, it has nothing to do with appearing or disappearing in your mind. That's not where the central feature of this awareness occurs. It's not in the content of your mind. It's a deeper form of recognition. It's in Greek called Metanoia. Metanoia meaning a turnabout in consciousness. Specifically relating to religious and religious-like experience, or high metaphysical realization. So in a flash, this divine energy comes in and takes out all torpor, all laziness, sloth, exhaustion, disinterest, boredom, attachment, detachment, anything that can find itself in a dualistic reference point, and begins to then speak in a language that's only known to the inner being. If you have the energy to stay up for this late night flick, if you have the energy to stay up and with this, yeah. If you're tired, you'll find that you'll get regenerated in a short amount of time and you'll be able to put your mind to this. The Shakti will come in and use the Kundalini aspect to raise your vibration so that you can actually begin to listen. Before that, you might be unable to even listen. That's quite a predicament, huh? Do you see what ignorance is in the context of this spontaneous discussion? Ignorance means you can't help yourself. You're just too dumb to realize. You're too caught up in your own state of ignorant being to even be helped. What I'm suggesting to you is that that is not the final word. That when the Kundalini-shakti can manifest, it comes in and pumps you up from within with great energy, a great force of energy, which can then provide the sufficient wakefulness with which to appreciate the non-dualistic atmosphere in which the mind floats, which births the mind. It's very interesting. I'm so fascinated by this. It's like a fascination I can never let go of. Most people have passing fascinations. I've just loved this since I became conscious, and I'm still loving it, and I'm going to love it on my way out of this body. I just love that. I'm in love with that. It's a love that arises from within that. It directs itself to that, to whatever intermediary existence is between this and that. Just by listening to the eccentric monologue of this eccentric being, you will be helped. Most human beings are fascinated by the chatter of their own minds, and that makes them happy. I'm waiting for the gods to speak. Then I'll be happy.